Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know from the current status quo right now, the status quo is not really sustainable and not progressive, since there are many individuals and organizations that are not recycling, which creates an environment and society that won't be upgrading, knowing the world must evolve and grow for the better. For example, there are trash. If we don't throw them away or not like recycling it, it will be a waste for the environment. So as the individuals and the organizations that are existing in our current status quo right now. And also, if there are 10,000 people out there not doing anything and not being productive, it will create a society that won't be progressing and won't be beneficial for themselves. No, this means that if we implement this motion, this will be so beneficial, not for the individuals, but for the organization and the society, and it's for the better for the near future and others. The goals that we want to achieve here is to have the sustainable society and environment, right? So the sustainable society in here is that people will be productive with good effects to themselves and others, which can create a better society. Now, three stakeholders in here: individuals, organization, and society. First of all, these three stakeholders are related one to another. The first is individuals. As a human, we must have this space of life where we don't feel like productive and not doing anything at all. This will create like a long-term effects to themselves, which leads to a worse state of life where they don't have the energy to do anything, and will create this toxic society, not just for themselves but for the others. Now, the second stakeholders in here is the organizations. If the individuals themselves are not being progressive and productive, this can be said that the organizations that are existed won't be progressive and productive also. And the third stakeholder is the society. If the individuals and organizations are not being productive and not progressive to the society, it will create a toxic society and toxic environment, which will, that I have stated before, it will be a waste not just for themselves but for the society and environment too. Opposition may say that rich people, what will happen with the rich people and poor people, and what if they do not care if this motion is being implemented? Now, first of all, I would like to say about I'm gonna say about our mechanisms. Now, the mechanisms in here, the first one is taxes and the second one is home arrest. The first one is taxes for the rich. Now, this will be related to what will the opposition may say regarding my statements in here. The taxes in here, if they don't being punished, or like if they're not being productive and not being progressive to the society, they will be told to pay for the taxes, and these taxes will be allocated to the village and to the cities, so it will be for the better for them, and it will be so beneficial for the other people too. And the second one is home arrest. Why we don't choose jails, especially if we want to criminalize them that are not progressive? There are many. The jail system in Indonesia, in many countries, are not really good. So if we put them in home arrest, and if we choose home arrest as the mechanism for this motion, it will be better, and they still can do like stuffs in their home, and it will make them feel like they must be productive because they don't have anything to do outside the house, and they feel pressure to do something that will be productive to themselves. Now regarding what will the opposition may say, first of all, for the rich and the poor people, what if the poor people cannot pay taxes? We have second options, which is the home arrest system. The home arrest system for those that are not following the rules when this motion is being implemented. And the next one is for the rich people. If the rich people pay for what they have done, the taxes and the funds will be allocated to the city that will provide the stuff that they are needing for the home arrest system that will be implemented if this motion is being implemented. And what if they don't care? Now, if they don't care, if those that are being punished don't care about how they being criminalized regarding this motion being implemented, there are corporations that won't be accepting them. Like if they want to sign up for a job, the corporations won't be corporations won't be accepting them, and which will be so hard for them to not getting the job that they wanted, which is really hard. So this means that if this motion is being implemented, they will be pressured to be someone that is progressive and productive. Now, two arguments in here. Why criminalization works better. So, as we all know, that first layer in here, law is a great driving force, and if people try to, as we all know, that to become a criminal, it's something that is really morally and lawfully wrong. And with that being said, people will try to avoid themselves to be categorized as a criminal, right? And with that, like, people will naturally avoid themselves to become a criminals. So if this motion is being implemented, people will being more productive and being more progressive to the society, which can be so beneficial for them, because they know that deep down this word of criminalization will works better, and people will tend to avoid themselves to be categorized as a criminal, which like, for example, if a celebrity is not being progressive and it's not being recycled to the society, they will be getting the public humiliation, and they will be getting cancelled for not following the rules when this motion is being implemented. So as other people, if they're not being progressive or like being productive, they will be getting these public humiliations. Like the people that don't care about what if they got punished and being labeled as a criminal. What if they don't care? They won't be having this same opportunity as people that are following the rules when this motion is being implemented. Now, the second argument in here is why we have to implement this motion to individuals and organizations. So, if we implement this motion to the individuals and organizations, it will lead us to our goals, which means a sustainable society and environment. And if this motion is being implemented, we will achieve like our goals, like to be sustainable society, will be a progressive society, and the second one is it will be so good and beneficial for each of the stakeholders, because each of the stakeholders themselves is related one to another. So if individuals are being productive and progressive, especially in this world, and following the rules, that as soon as this motion is being implemented, it will be so beneficial for them, not just for themselves but for the others. So in conclusion, if we implement this motion, it will be very beneficial for each of the stakeholders on the society, which also leads to a sustainable environment. So, thank you very much.